Hey everybody, Bob Chick along with David Bay, and the finals just concluded here in Chicago. David, we had a great show here tonight. 6 divisions represented, 6 golden tickets to the Olympia.
Yeah, no, Tim Gardner always brings out a ton of the pros here for this 4th of July weekend. 5th year they've had it here. Another successful year. We have another day left, but day one was it was a good one. So a lot of good competitors, you know, some big names that we've seen before and some that we didn't recognize earning their ticket to the Olympia.
Well, we started things off with some high-flying, death-defying action, David. Of course, once again, the Pro Fitness girls took the stage. No surprise here. 2-time champ Fiona Harris, now a 3-time champ.
Yeah, she came out. Her routine was really awesome. Her conditioning, her muscularity looked fantastic. You know, that was one of the things that I pointed out that I really don't know that I've discussed before with the fitness routines is there's a big variation in conditioning, but when these girls are going through their strength moves and doing handstands and stuff, the leaner you are, the more you see stuff pop, and the more impressive the routine comes. So for as good of a routine might be with a girl who's out of shape, you take the same girl, put her in really good shape, and when she's doing all those strength moves, doing handstands, and the delts and the arms are popping, it just makes everything look better. And Fiona had all that. She was in really good shape, good muscularity. The routine itself was really good, but when she's going through all those motions and you see the delts and the arms and everything else popping, very impressive win for her.
What did you think of my girl, Nicole Funkin' Duncan's routine? What did I tell you, bro?
For a short girl, she did that jump splits. She was a good, I don't know, she's a good 5-6 feet off the ground. It was pretty crazy. Definitely.
She ain't even 5 feet tall, so that shows you. But I tell you what, just world-class routines, and it was a great showing for the fitness girls. So congratulations to Fiona. Back to the Olympia, and moving on to Pro Figure.
Yeah, figure, as we had said, leading in with our preview video, there wasn't any big names that popped out. And the girl that ended up walking away with the win and another ticket to the Olympia, Sarah Ard from San Diego. I've never heard of Sarah Ard, but you know her now.
You know who she is now, and she's going to the Olympia.
Right, first place at the Chicago Pro, stayed in the middle the whole time. You know, Bojana Vasilovic won a show, I think, just a few weeks ago. So when you're coming in against somebody who has just coming off a win, obviously a little bit more pressure, but a solid win for Sarah.
Absolutely. All right, off the figure and on to
Women's physique.
Women's physique. We pretty much called this one after the prejudging. I don't think there was a lot of big surprises there. Jamie Pinner just a little bit too much for Mindy O'Brien this show. Mindy was good, but you can clearly see Jamie was a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller. Didn't string out this time, and I think that was the key for Jamie is she brought that trademark conditioning with a little bit fuller physique this time. Good for the win.
Yeah, Jamie, when we saw her win a few years ago, looked fantastic. We've seen her a few times where she's over-dieted a little bit. Now, her conditioning was still really good here, so it's not like she sacrificed any size for conditioning, but we have seen her a little bit over-dieted, and like we see in bodybuilding and all the other divisions, some people flatten out and get really stringy, and it seems like that's been an issue with Jamie in the past. So she had the conditioning we've seen her in before, but really good fullness. She's got some of the best quads that we saw on stage. Good sweep, they're nice and round. Everything ties in really well, so she's got a really good structure, and when you combine that with the conditioning and the presentation and everything, solid first place win for her.
All right, men's physique up next, David.
No. I mean, this was an open and shut case. Yeah. I mean, there was some good competitors, but Mike Ballon, like we said in our prejudging wrap up, Mike walked out, hit a couple shots. Like, it's going to be hard to beat him. You know, they did all kinds of call outs. Luke Tesvich did a great job of moving guys around. Everybody got a good look. But despite of the fact that they were shuffling everybody around the whole time, Mike stayed front and center. Same for the confirmation rounds tonight. Sure. A good win for him, and I'm not sure if he's been at the Olympia before, but if he hasn't, he's not on his way now.
Yeah, and he's going to have a great showing at the Olympia. 12 weeks to go for that one. Into our men's classic physique. Came down to the two gentlemen we figured it would, Coe and Durham Charles. Smoke clears. It's Durham Charles with another victory.
Yeah, I personally like Cole a little bit better. When I think about classic physique, you know, and I've said this a million times, I like Durham's physique a little bit better and thought it was more classic in the terms of structure and everything like that when he was a little bit bigger. So I preferred Cole's physique, but it's, you know, it's apples and oranges. You know, definitely a good win for Durham and not taking anything away from him because he looks really good. But I think, you know, if Cole can get a little bit sharper, his conditioning was good, but he can definitely still be a little bit tighter. So if he improves that conditioning a little bit, you know, if we look at the guys so far that are qualified for the Olympia for classic physique, I think Cole is probably, you know, a first call-out guy at that show.
Absolutely. All right, on to the main event, of course, our men's 212 guys on stage. Mark Dugdale coming out the winner. I tell you, Mark had the best overall of anybody. He wasn't the biggest out there. You can make a case for most conditioning because Mark was pretty spot on, but he just had the best combination of everything. Classic lines, great posing once again, a very crisp conditioning. I think that was the key.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at Marion Cabral, Marion was probably a little bit bigger than Mark in most shots. Dobromir Daliv had definitely some freaky shots. He was fuller and more vascular tonight, so he definitely looked better to me tonight than he did this morning. But like you had stated, Mark was just the most polished, the best combination of everything. His conditioning was really good. He went pose for pose really well with the rest of the guys. The only place I thought he lost a little bit of ground, and we've discussed it before, is his rear lat spread, but that's one of 8 mandatory poses, and the rest of them he held up very well against the rest of the guys in a good win, and very well deserved for Mark.
And you can see Mark was very excited on that win. He's got 2 in a row now. He picked up Alaska, and he picks up one here, and actually he already signed the contract to do Vancouver, which isn't that far from him. He's in Bothell, Washington, so he's literally only a couple of hours drive over the border on the right side of the tracks, David, if you remember. Yeah, we'll look at the map later on. You'll see it.
Looking at the map, that's the
left side. Yeah, whatever. I was facing the other way.
You're looking down from Canada, then it's the right.
Yeah, nobody's looking down from Canada. Anywho, Mark will be in Vancouver, but he's obviously in the plus column now. He's got nothing to lose by that, although he certainly wouldn't mind notching another win on his route to the Olympia. So, hat trick. I like that. And the bodybuilding hat trick. All right, David, lots of action coming up tomorrow. NPC amateurs taking the stage tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night, the conclusion of the IFBB pros, women bodybuilders,
Bikini.
IFBB bikini, and, of course, the big boys taking the stage tomorrow. Looking for my boy Big Country to be taking this one here, Dallas McCarver. Akeem Williams not looking too small himself. I just ran into him. Huge. So he's a big boy. And you got some other big names in there. So we'll be coming back tomorrow with our pregame report, of course. We'll make some predictions. See if I can once again best you in these predictions, as I always do. Bob Stradamus back in the mix. We'll see if we can call it tomorrow.
I'm trying to be that guy that maybe like goes out on a limb, and when everybody else says they had the one person picked, and you were the person who bet your money on the 1 to 100 odds, then you win. It's a sweet victory.
Dave Stradamus coming tomorrow. We'll see what he can come up with. That's going to wrap things up here for tonight. For David Bay, I'm Bob Chick. We're out.